Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to the new series of Talking Jobs. This is me, Dr. r.bromnick from the School of Psychology here at the University of Lincoln. And to kickstart our post-Christmas series, we have no one better than Dr. Kirsty Miller, our very new head of school, who's going to talk about academic careers and share her vision for the School of Psychology here at Lincoln. So stay tuned. You're listening to Talking Jobs. We're going to meet Kirsty Miller. Welcome, Kirsty! Yay!
Hi, Rachel.
I know it's early, but I'm delighted to have you here today talking to us. So, first of all, on behalf of the school and all our listeners, congratulations on becoming head of school for psychology.
Thank you very much.
We're all delighted. So, if our listeners have been following this series, we signed off before Christmas talking to Dr. Kay Ritchie, and what a lovely time we had. And Kay talked about her career and talked about some tips for academic progression. So let's just find out from you, Kirsty. Let's backtrack. We know where you're at now. Where did your career start? What sort of experiences and qualifications have you got?
Well, I did my undergraduate degree at Bangor University in North Wales. Yes, and as an undergrad, my plan was never to be an academic.
Oh, was it like never? It was like you had a different plan, or you just never thought?
I never even thought about being an academic. I was going to be a clinical psychologist or an educational psychologist. That's what I decided to do. And then after I finished my undergrad, I went home for a bit. Very quickly got tired of living at home, and a job had come up at Lancaster University.
Okay.
Now, my undergrad dissertation was in vision and movement. I found that topic really interesting. It wasn't one I'd done much before. And the job at Lancaster that came up was looking at vision and movement in children.
It
seemed like a really good fit.
Because you've got that cool gadget in your lab.
We do the Mirage, where we can shrink your fingers and stretch them and make your hands to swim.
Oh, seriously, if you've never had a chance to have a go with this, I really recommend it when you see some demos going on. Okay, right. So, PhD.
Yeah, so I took the job at Lancaster and they offered me part-time PhD alongside it. So I got to do RA work and get paid to do my PhD, which was quite nice.
Very good.
Did that, then took a job teaching psychology to access courses in a college nearby in Morecambe. I found that actually really enjoyed teaching as well as really enjoying the research.
All right, well that's good for people interested in academic stuff.
Yes. So then these two things seemed to line up, and by that point I didn't want to be a clinical psychologist anymore. Educational psychologist didn't appeal as much either, but being able to do research and being able to teach students was really where I really wanted to go.
Good, and then you came here at some point.
I did.
About 2007, was it?
Yes, 2007. Bit of a career break, had a couple of kids.
Oh, well done.
Thank you.
Well, that's an achievement. I've only ever managed a dog.
2 dogs too.
Oh,
I think the dogs probably more problems most of the time.
Okay.
So yeah, then the job at Lincoln came up.
Right.
And it fitted with where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. So I came here.
Oh, good. I mean, the kids thing was personal, but on the other hand, there may be people listening thinking that they might want to also have a family as well as a career. It's not. This series isn't just about promoting. You've got to get qualifications, you've got to get a career. We want to promote happy, healthy family lives too.
Yes. Yeah, and for me, the academic life fits really well with the family life.
All right, good.
We have flexibility in our work, and it means that occasionally I can do pickups and drop-offs and those sorts of things, and it works really nicely.
All right, good. So you developed your career here, and I've heard from you, it wasn't sort of really planned.
It
wasn't. You didn't have a sort of grand timetable written down that I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'll apply for this promotion or this opportunity.
No, there was never really any plan. The plan was always, what am I doing right now? And then it was a case of saying yes to a lot of opportunities.
Right.
So there wasn't a single path. I spent a lot of time at junctions going, which way should I go now? And then I picked whichever one looked more interesting at the time or appealed to me most at the time.
Right.
And that's worked really well. It's allowed me to follow my interests, and then following my interests has led me now to, strangely enough, to head of school.
Well, not strangely enough, I think observing from the outside, I think, you've worked very hard and you've been very student focused.
Yeah.
And you've been you've done a lot of sort of cool stuff that's really helped our students, like the peer mentoring scheme and some other projects that, so it's not just coincidental.
Yeah. I guess I didn't do any of those things so I thought this would be really
not
useful for my career.
Yeah.
It was a case of peer mentoring is really useful. And I had a peer mentor at university.
Right.
And it's something that I thought our students would benefit from and get a lot out of. And luckily that does seem to be the case.
Right.
So, and a lot of these things have been led by the students. And they'll come with ideas and really fantastic ideas about things they want to develop. And it's just a case of being lucky enough to be able to support them. Brilliant. And help them develop those concepts.
Oh, brilliant. So do you have any tips for anyone that might be thinking of sort of developing a career in teaching and learning side of higher education?
I would say listening to the students. So for staff, I'd say listening to the students and working a lot with the students. For our students, if they're thinking about the academic career and they're thinking about going in that direction, I think there's opportunities we have within the school and within the university they could take up. So the peer mentoring that you mentioned, at the minute we're about to start recruiting for peer mentors. And peer mentors are a really good way to support other students and see if that's something that you like and something that you get enjoyment out of.
And we're trying to develop some sort of academic peer mentoring, aren't we?
We are, yes. Talia, our school rep,
right.
is quite keen on developing some academic mentoring. So she's looking at the minute at what students would like it to look like. So I'd say that's another really good opportunity. So it'll be less teaching, more facilitating learning.
Yes.
But it's a really good way actually to improve your own learning as well.
The best way to live your lives, I think. Teaching.
Yes, when you try and teach it to someone else.
Yeah. So take advantage of those opportunities, and just to sort of hear from you, Kirsty, what would you say is, do you have any vision for the school? You've recently sort of promoted to this position. Do you have like a message for our listeners, or a vision of what you want to achieve under your headship? Big question and about 6 questions. I'd never make it as a lawyer or anything like that.
No, you can answer that in a Leichhardt scale, could you?
No.
Yes, psychology is a fantastic school.
It is.
We have great academics,
we do.
technicians.
That includes me.
It does. We have a great admin team and we have fantastic students. So there are
alumni. We have a lot of alumni listening. We've got some coming back even today to do a recording.
Excellent. No, we have it's a really strong school. And my plan has lots of different components of it, but I reckon the crux of all of it is that I want to make sure that we are supporting everyone in order to achieve their aspirations, whether that's staff and research grants that they want to gain and things they want to reach, and that's students and kind of career directions they want to go in. I want to make sure that we're supporting everyone to be able to achieve those things. And for students, some of that is making sure that our teaching is challenging.
Yeah.
And that we're pushing them a little bit outside of their comfort zone.
A little bit more than you think we are at the moment, or because the students say it's a hard degree.
It is, but they achieve hugely on it.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think it's always worth, because I think when you're doing it, it can become really hard to see how much you've changed and how much you've grown.
Yeah.
So I think it's always worth stepping back for our staff and our students and just looking at how much you've developed over the time that you've been here.
People do incredibly well. I mean, from my perspective, because I teach like research methods in the first year, and then I teach it again in the third year, just to see that massive developmental change. I'm just marking some work now, and it's of publishable quality. I can't distinguish between them being, I couldn't tell they were a student for a lot of them from what they're writing. It's of that high quality.
Yeah, and that's from that first year where
SPSS
is this huge scary thing.
What do you mean variable?
Yeah, and the writing and how everything develops over time. So I think it's, as well as making sure we're kind of supporting everyone, also encouraging everyone just to stop occasionally and just reflect on what they've done and what they've achieved.
That's true.
And looking at the skills that they've gained.
Yeah, that's really important. I'm a really bad interviewer because I like to answer my own questions. But I think as well, what I would add, as well as the academic sort of development, you mentioned about skills and things. Yeah. Quite often people say, oh, in my day, blah, 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 it was better. But I tell you what is so much more better than when I was a student is, the career service, the library, the things that they offer. and the opportunities for sort of professional development more broadly than the academic.
Yeah.
Going to conferences, or being able to pursue volunteering and other kind of things. I think it's incredible what can be done in terms of that development that you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a huge amount that is outside of the curriculum, both in the school with the opportunities that we have, things like the undergraduate research opportunities scheme, and other things that we have in psychology, but also all the opportunities from the Students' Union and the SU opportunities.
Yeah. And we have close relationships with those from our school. So
we do, yes.
Good.
Yes.
Well, okay, brilliant. Do you have a final thing to say before we finish?
I guess I want to make sure that our students still come talk to me.
Yes.
It's been the most fun part of my job at Lincoln.
Okay.
Is talking to the students, and
Right.
I'm not going to see them as much anymore because I'm not teaching as much as I was. So
that's Kate Miller at lincoln.ac.uk if you want to email.
yes.
Where's your room?
My office is on the first floor in Sarah Swift next to the school admin office, so it's SSB 1218.
Right.
So I have office hours on a Monday, and I'm always happy to see our students and have a cup of tea.
Good. Cup of tea is important.
Cup of tea is always important.
Okay, well, on that note, Kirsty and I will go and enjoy a brew, and just remains for me to say stay tuned for the rest of the series of Talking Jobs coming to you this semester, and just for now we shall say thank you, Kirsty, and bye.
Bye.
Bye.